and are hoping for something different to happen. So I'll give you an example. For example, I keep looking at the Nigerian situation and I say to everybody who wants to listen, if you do not allow responsibility to be transferred from one generation to the next generation as at when due, a vacuum will be created. Because you see all these young people, they want to believe or feel that there's a need for them to be called Nigerians. But one thing I need to get clear here is, this is not an ambition, it is a vision. And only because we have started visualizing a thing like this, we're getting more aspirants. I'm the first aspirant that declared to run. What we're experiencing now is a natural occurrence of a people who are tired of the status quo and are hoping for something different to happen. So I'll give you an example. For example, I keep looking at the Nigerian situation and I say to everybody who wants to listen, if you do not allow responsibility to be transferred from one generation to the next generation as at when due, a vacuum will be created. Because you see all these young people, they want to believe or feel that there's a need for them to be called Nigerians. But one thing I need to get clear here is, this is not an ambition, it is a vision. And only because we have started visualizing a thing like this, we're getting more aspirants. I'm the first aspirant that declared to run. And at the time I did this, I heard things like, he's crazy, he's mad, he's a joker. There will always be dream killers, there will always be naysayers. What is important is the fact that I'm not standing alone anymore. It makes me confident that anytime you see an aspirant who hasn't had the opportunity to steal Nigerians' money, who has never stolen Nigeria's money, whose name is not on the list of looters, please support him in any way you can. And this is because it's an expensive venture. The mere fact that you have to travel from point A to point B, not forgetting that this guy, all he receives or all he earns is just enough money to take care of his immediate family. Now you have to start thinking, where is this resources coming from? If the resources is not going to come from the collective group of Nigerians who are actually seeking for this better country, and if we're not careful, the moment he agrees that, okay, I can't sustain this anymore from my own personal resources, I have to look for one older man here or elderly guy there who has had access to our collective treasury and ask him to give me money, then the whole process has been distorted. Because at that point, he will not be able to deliver the kind of dividends of democracy that we would expect from him should he get into office. The average man on the street in Kano doesn't know if this country produces oil. So what it means is he is in abject poverty because some people who represent him on the higher level have refused to allow the resources that we get from our collective wealth as a country to actually trickle down. There are no healthcare systems, there are no basic amenities and all of those things that these poor people would need. And what I'm saying is, except the man in the east understands that the man in the north is going through the same problems as he is with the man in the west, we can have a united country. This country can produce millions and tons of food, and in that same year we still go hungry. And that's because we haven't put the right things in place. If agriculture is our biggest strength, then we'll have to manage it and ensure that we leverage on its entire value chain. Whether we're going to be thinking of how well we store, what we process, how we package, how we brand, and how we export. So anytime the Minister of Agriculture is rushing to take things out of this country for the sake of receiving foreign exchange, I say to him, you are exporting our jobs. Because in that entire value chain, millions of jobs can be given to Nigerians. With regards to the public sector, the only thing that's going to make the public sector work or the civil service work is if there's a system. I'll give you an example with the banking sector. The day 1,000 naira would miss, that banker will not leave his office. He has to balance the books. And that's because there's a system. The moment he cannot balance the books, they would have to raise a flag and say, 1,000 naira is missing here. But they not just say 1,000 naira is missing, they will look at it and say 1,000 naira is missing here. It was taken at 2:30 p.m. on the 14th of January 2018 by so person. And so people just believe that when we bring this system, I will not have a chance to dip my hands directly into the pockets of the treasury and put it in my own pocket. And except we are going to have a leadership with strong political will and determination, we will not be able to have this kind of system, whether from the time you have been employed or to the time you are going to retire. The system should read every single day that Mr. AA has 8,100 days left in the civil service, 8,000 days left in the civil service, 7,999 days left in the civil service, and that's how it counts down. So the day your time comes, you are going. And that gives space for the next generation to come into the system. Otherwise, we'll keep having problems with the public sector. I think if we want the system to work, we would have to look and find how we can bring people in the private sector who have proven themselves, who are succeeding, who are excelling, to come in and help the public sector work for the betterment of our people. I would want Nigerians to be very critical about ensuring that we're not going to fall into the same kind of crisis that we always fell in, where same people would move to a new platform and call it a new name, and then we get fooled into the system. What we're experiencing now is a natural occurrence of a people who are tired of the status quo and are hoping for something different to happen. So I'll give you an example. For example, I keep looking at the Nigerian situation and I say to everybody who wants to listen, if you do not allow responsibility to be transferred from one generation to the next generation as at when due, a vacuum will be created. Because you see all these young people, they want to believe or feel that there's a need for them to be called Nigerians. But one thing I need to get clear here is, this is not an ambition, it is a vision. And only because we have started visualizing a thing like this, we're getting more aspirants. I'm the first aspirant that declared to run. And at the time I did this, I heard things like, he's crazy, he's mad, he's a joker. There will always be dream killers, there will always be naysayers. What is important is the fact that I'm not standing alone anymore. It makes me confident that anytime you see an aspirant who hasn't had the opportunity to steal Nigerians' money, who has never stolen Nigeria's money, whose name is not on the list of looters, please support him in any way you can. And this is because it's an expensive venture. The mere fact that you have to travel from point A to point B, not forgetting that this guy, all he receives or all he earns is just enough money to take care of his immediate family. Now you have to start thinking, where is this resources coming from? If the resources is not going to come from the collective.
Thanks for the question, Ebuka. First of all, my name is Ahmed Buhari, and you're right, I've had a lot of calls from people saying that I change my name if I want to run for the office of the president. And I keep telling people that I cannot change my name for anything. I try to remind them that I do come from a home of a very honorable man who served this country diligently before he passed away. And the least I can do is to ensure that I help protect his legacy. And so I'm not going to change my name for anything. With regards to the current administration and its performance, one would say they have handled some certain areas well and some certain other areas haven't been handled so well. More than anything else, I think Nigeria is a very complicated society. It's filled with different ethnicities, different religions, different viewpoints, and we do deserve a leader that will be ready to answer to everybody. People need a leader they will feel comfortable with. People need a leader that will feel understand their plight. And so what I would suggest or advise the current administration to do, if they're listening, is to, as much as possible, try to create that atmosphere that will provide inclusivity. Thanks for the question, Ebuka. First of all, my name is Ahmed Buhari, and you're right, I've had a lot of calls from people saying that I change my name if I want to run for the office of the president. And I keep telling people that I cannot change my name for anything. I try to remind them that I do come from a home of a very honorable man who served this country diligently before he passed away. And the least I can do is to ensure that I help protect his legacy. And so I'm not going to change my name for anything. With regards to the current administration and its performance, one would say they have handled some certain areas well and some certain other areas haven't been handled so well. More than anything else, I think Nigeria is a very My name is Ahmed Buhari, and I will be running for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2019. My 4-year plan is to ensure that we employ proper data management systems to help provide accountability, efficiency, transparency, and good governance. We will also use our proper data management systems to ensure that we fight insecurity, improve the economy, improve education, improve infrastructure, and ensure that we provide a better life for Nigerians. Most importantly, I will ensure that we close the loopholes that have helped politicize our unity as a people. We would ensure that we erase all of those things that have always divided us: ethnicity, religion, social status, political party affiliations, gender inequalities, and all those other things. We would ensure that we move Nigeria from being a dependent nation to becoming a donor nation. These are my plans. Join me. Join us. Thank you. My name is Ahmed Buhari, and I will be running for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2019. My 4-year plan is to ensure that we employ proper data management systems to help provide accountability, efficiency, transparency, and good governance. We will also use our proper data management systems to ensure that we fight insecurity, improve the economy, improve education, improve infrastructure, and ensure that we provide a better life for Nigerians. Most importantly, I will ensure that we close the loopholes that have helped politicize our unity.
The thing has been so stressful because even when you come in, the people will keep you waiting until I don't know when the system is going to improve.
They couldn't find my name on the list. After the registration, I had Ojuelegba.
I had to see a lot of crowd here, and I decided that the stress is too much.
They are saying I should go to Cyber Cafe to from there find out my details of my INEC office, so they can print out my name there.
It's not compulsory now. Is it my first to vote?
The crowd was much, and just because I wouldn't want to waste my time from where I was going to, so I had to go. I did not really put down my name and my number down.
When we are voting, what's the benefits? What are you benefiting? I'm not doing any voting. I'm not interested.
My name is Ahmed Buhari. We're there for Surulere, for inside Lagos, and we're trying to find out why people not the vote or how did they go through to get their PVC. And if you see behind me, a lot of people don't come here since 7 o'clock in the morning. Some of them come with their children. Some of them had to walk down here to come do registration. Some of them, they complain since 2011 that they tried to get this thing done, but they never do. Some of them, they say they send me to go internet cafe to go get the right documents that can help them get this thing registered. This thing not go easy. But Moko, remember one thing. If you have your PVC, now there your power day. Now there you go fit vote the kind of candidate where you want. I know some of them don't complain, say they don't tire for the system, but I beg, we cannot lose hope. The only time we feel lose hope now when we die. So remember, your future day, your term. Go and register, get your PVC. Thank you.
The thing has been so stressful because even when you come in, the people will keep you waiting until I don't know when the system is going to improve.
They couldn't find my name on the list. After the registration, I had Ojuelegba.
I had to see a lot of crowd here, and I decided that the stress is too much.
They are saying I should go to Cyber Cafe to from there find out my details of my INEC office, so they can print out my name there.
It's not compulsory now. Is it my first to vote?
The crowd was much, and just because I wouldn't want to waste my time from where I was going to, so I had to go. I did not really put down my name and my number down.
When we are voting, what's the benefits? What are you benefiting? I'm not doing any voting. I'm not interested.
My name is Ahmed Buhari. We're there for Surulere, for inside Lagos, and we're trying to find out why people not the vote or how did they go through to get their PVC. And if you see behind me, a lot of people don't come here since 7 o'clock in the morning. Some of them come with their children. Some of them had to...
Welcome to Cleverland Notebook Plus. What's Cleverland Notebook Plus all about? Cleverland is a social network and online platform for professionals. What's our mission? Our mission is simple: to get the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. How? Getting into a smarter conversation by blog, classify, event, group, music, upload, download, picture, movie, news, update sport, radio and online TV station. Just sign up to our affiliate program. Register on Clevernet Notebook Plus. Freely register to our network www.clevernet.net. Thank you. For more information, please contact us today at our email info@clevernet.com or info@clevernet.net. Welcome to Clevernet Notebook Plus.
Hello, welcome to Clevernet TV Spain. Today we'll be having, I don't know how to describe him. I think I'm just going to say an humble giant in our midst today to talk to us about Nigeria. He's looking forward to become the next Nigerian president. And I'll be happy to talk to him today. I feel honored and humbled like him. His name is Ahmed Bee Buhari. Welcome to Clevernet TV.
Thank you, Clevernet TV. I hope you're doing good today.
I hope so as well, because I'll be talking today with you and I'm very humbled. Mr. How would you want me to address you, please? Mr. Ahmed, President Ahmed, President to be Ahmed, or what exactly?
My name is Ahmed Buhari.
Okay, so,
and
yeah.
Many further, for the sake of our viewers, I have no relationship with the current president.
Really?
And yeah, absolutely no relationship. I'm from a different state, and as a matter of fact, I've never met the guy before. But I have refused to allow the fact that we share the same name, distort my desire to actually see how we can fix Nigeria.
Okay, so can you tell us about Mr. Ahmed then?
Well, as you can see, I just turned 40 a few weeks ago. I'm from Niger State, even though I like to be regarded as a Nigerian. I've lived in all parts of the country when it comes to geopolitical zones. For me, I just want a country that is united, that is truly decentralized with regards to the governance structure, and I also want a country that is secure. But most importantly, I want a country that is going to see how people will leverage upon their comparative economic advantages. These comparative economic advantages are the things that are going to make the people of the north, south, east, and west have a reason to want to have a relationship with each other. Nothing is going to make Nigerians come together if there's no economic viability within their midst.
But excuse me, I would like to interrupt you. You want to bring a very difficult, very complex country together. You know that? Very complex in terms of ethnicity. So how is that possible? I still find it very difficult to believe.
It's unfortunate that you find it hard to believe, but we once lived in this country where ethnicity and religion were not the forefront of our agenda. At that time, we were more concerned about how to birth a country. And through the build-up to 1960, most of the people who played the key roles in trying to see how we can have a country were mostly focused on how to serve Nigeria. You know, they were not on about how to differentiate themselves based on the religions or the ethnicity that they belong to. And this is exactly where I want our mindset to come back to. There is nothing that is holding us back if not for fear.
But before we go into that, I want you to go deep about yourself, your personality, your way of thinking, what you do to relax. I mean, I want to go psychological now. I want to go psychological. You understand what I mean? Because I know you're an entrepreneur and a motivational speaker. So I want to go deep with you. So, personally, tell me about yourself. Personally,
I'm the first of 6 children. My dad is late. He died about 25 years ago. So I am one child who was the first of 6, and my single mother had to go through a lot to get us through school. And after school, I would just like to say that we got lucky at some point where I gained scholarship to study abroad. And
where did you study then? Where?
I studied in London and Manchester. So I studied geology at the Federal
On
University of
scholarship.
Technology. No, well, my geology was in Mina, so it was fine. We put things together and we went through school in Federal University of Technology, Mina. But then I got a scholarship right after that, and I went to London to study international trade and marketing. And after international trade and marketing, I had to pay through to myself to see how I could get myself studying geographic information systems and spatial analysis at the Manchester Metropolitan University, Manchester. After all of that was done, I started working there. I had a choice to actually remain in England, but I wanted to come back to this country. And so I came back and I started working with the oil and gas. I worked with an indigenous oil and gas company for several years, after which I started working with the telecoms as the business development manager. I worked as the business development manager for a while, and then I got bored. To be honest with you, I got seriously bored. I needed to do something that was more exciting. And so I started my company some 7 years ago. And the main aim of starting the company at that time was because I wanted to do something
And what
different.
is the name of your company?
Scala Incorporated.
So what do you do?
It's an IT company. It's an IT-based company. So from everything from app development to seeing how we can train people with regards to information systems and information technology. And in trying to have this company work, one of the first things that we wanted to do was to see how we could invite young people to the hub, bring them to the hub to see how they can express themselves.
And how has it gone so far, bringing people together?
Oh, fantastic! And so you see, when you're bringing people together, and there is it's designed to unite them. It's designed to make them work for a common goal. They really forget where they're from. So when you come to the hub, you can't see it's well situated in Lagos to start with. I've lived in Lagos for the last 12 years. So it's situated in Lagos, and the fact that it's in Lagos, you find all kinds of people coming in to see how they can express themselves. And information technology is one way that I've managed to bring young people, especially from university.
So how many students do you have now? How many students?
Well, they're not exactly students. They are part and parcel of the company. So we have over 60 staff.
60 staff.
And depending on depending on the whole project that we have at every given time, they could go from 60 to 100, as the case may be. So depending on the project, we might need more hands, and then we invite more people. And so one of the things that's kind of are actually gain a lot of interest of the fact that we have the Kids Can Code program, where we call kids around our neighborhood who have never had an opportunity to see a computer before and introduce them to what information technology can do for them. And the mere fact that you're actually exposing their minds to all of these things, it kind of makes them prepare to know that the future holds for them more than just medicine or pharmacy or engineering. I remember the first edition we had, which is what propelled my agreeing to have more of these sessions, was when we talked to a 7-year-old who said to us very clearly that after the process, after engaging with us, he would like to build an application that's going to
Hello.
He was excited with the fact that he was going to develop an application that was going to protect himself and his mom from bad people. So, this was a 7-year-old.
So what we are saying, what I'm seeing in my front now, if you become a president, that we'll have a good database. Someone from Niger will not be coming to Nigeria to claim he's from Nigeria. Hello, are you there? Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
That means you can introduce a better database for Nigeria.
Absolutely. If you want to go through my plans, I believe the only way we can have a country that is going to be successful is when we have a proper data management system. One of the reasons why Nigeria has failed to progress is because we don't have a system. Only a system can actually handle the people.
What do you mean system? What do you mean we don't have system? Because we have customs, we have the police, we have the military, and they've got computer in front of them. So what more do we need? So what more do we need then?
So I'll tell you something. A country that cannot categorically tell us how many Nigerians exist, a country that cannot categorically tell us how many Nigerians are coming into the country, why they're coming in, what they're going to be doing.
But Nigeria is not extending. Nigeria is extending to Niger now. We are becoming Nigerians now. We are becoming from Republic of Benin as well. Don't forget that we are not just Nigerians here.
Well, this is where I think can work for us. If we want a country that's going to work, if we want to actually deliver dividends of democracy to the people, then we would have to know how many people we're dealing with. I'll give you an example. In your household, if
probably have 3 children, 1 wife, and yourself. You know exactly how much you're going to budget every month. If for any reason there's going to be a leakage from your storage or any way possible, you cannot plan. And the point where you cannot plan always comes when you do not know what you're dealing with. Right now, the government is going to struggle to do whatever they want to do to provide to Nigerians the dividends of democracy, but they can't categorically tell me how many people exist. The last time I talked to the Minister of Interior, he said we're about 100.
What was his name? What is the name of the Minister of Interior, please?
General Dambazau. So
okay.
I was retired. So
okay.
You asked
the current one. The current one, yeah?
Yes, the current one. I'm not going to tell you the former one.
No, for educational purposes. People need to know.
Absolutely. So
you forget we don't even have electricity to see what's going on TV. You know?
Unfortunately.
So you need to update them. Okay.
That's me. But on a serious note,
yeah.
The truth of the matter is, if the Minister of Interior is telling that we're about 170 million, and then the other staff within the same administration tell you we're about 200 million. Some people say we're about over 200 million. That means with a 30 million gap, I don't know who you're planning for. And this is the generation we're talking about. We need to know how many people live in this country. We need to know how many people died at least last month. We need to know how many people were given birth to last month. That is how we can plan for our country. That is how we can move forward. But the mere fact that we have refused to synchronize all the data that we'll be collecting over the years, we cannot plan. We cannot forecast. And when we cannot forecast, we don't have a country. It becomes a jungle. And so when you have herdsmen, whether they're herdsmen or bandits, who have no form of identification, who could come in from any part of the world, come into your country.
But let me ask you. You went into something else now. I wanted to ask you that later, but since you come into it, I'm going to ask you, yeah? X-Man, if you were on seat, how would you solve the problem?
First thing, I need us to understand something. There's an ECOWAS treaty that allows the free movement of these herdsmen across the West African state. Secondly, there's an ECOWAS treaty that allows them carry light arms.
Where can people read that? From where?
From the ECOWAS treaty. And so, again, it's important for you to understand that light arms and AK-47 falls under light arm nation. That's a disaster. And I know that the ECOWAS treaty allowed them to carry all of these things because they need to protect themselves while they move through the desert and forest.
ECOWAS, not Nigerian government. ECOWAS law.
There's an ECOWAS law that allows the free movement.
Where can I find it, please? Because I've never heard about that.
It's an ECOWAS treaty. You can actually Google it and you'll find the ECOWAS treaty that governs the West African states. So all the states, all the countries within the West Africa are being governed by the ECOWAS treaty, especially for the of trade. So it's also important for us to understand that before now, 100 years before now, there have been these herdsmen flowing all through the West African state. And the main purpose why they go to the southern part of the country is because that is the biggest market that they have. As they move through, they look for 2 things: food, water, and economics. They need to sell this. So when you talk about the Fulani man and say he loves his cattle so much, in reality, he just loves his investment. And it's also important.
Yeah, but is it not a business? Cattle rearing, is it not a business?
If you let me get there, I will explain to you. Of course, it's a business. The whole cattle herding thing is a business. There are a lot of people from the southern part of the country that actually invest in this business. There are some people who are regarded as big people within the society that actually invested in this business. So this is the problem. 7 years ago, we started talking about diversifying the economy. And in talking about diversifying the economy, we started talking about how we can actually start looking into other things of other sources of revenue, and agriculture became the first option. So as I speak with you right now, nearly every young person is truly thinking of how to embrace agriculture. And so most of those pathways that this cattle or this livestock would naturally have gone through are now farmland.
But they are eating farmers' crop. They are eating their cassava, their yams.
So if you let me finish, sir. So they are passing through these lands that are now farmlands. And because they are farmlands, you cannot pass through those. Even if you don't eat their cassava, the mere fact that you pass through their farmlands, you're destroying their investment. And these people cannot take it lightly. So what is most important for us to know here is the only way we can resolve this problem is to take this Fulani herdsmen, whether they're just herdsmen, into ranches.
And then we would have to educate the Fulanis why having a ranching system is even a better system for them. And the government has to be firm about this. Because if we have, if the last time the Minister of Information was talking about the number of cattle across the Nigerian space to be over 100 million cattle, what I hear from that is a lot of money that is wasting, because we don't have a proper taxation regime that ensures that all this cattle are being paid tax for before you sell them, whatever you're selling, however you're selling. We also have to think about if
Hello, yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can continue.
So, the other thing we have to think about is, as we put them in these ranches, we should also think about the entire value chain of having your cattle in a ranch. There's no country I've been to around the world where cattle move across the roads.
That means the treaty should be amended.
Absolutely. And our government has to push for that now. And the failure of our government to push that is what is causing this problem.
So you are going to do that. You are ready to do that.
I have no reason to waste time. And while we're doing this, we have to educate the people in the southern part of this country that the fact that Fulanis are cattle herders does not necessarily mean that we cannot venture into that kind of business. So whether you're from the south, whether you're from the east, whether you're from the west, there's nothing wrong if you own a ranch. Because in that ranch, you can actually control how you milk this cattle to the point where Nigeria can have no reason to import milk. With all the cattle, over 100 million cattle, we still import milk in this country. We should have a proper system that is...
So that means they have to educate them, like you've said. They have to send them back to school, but they are not ready to go. What are you going to do?
Not necessarily school. Like I keep saying, education doesn't have to end up in the classroom. Education can happen anywhere, but people need to be informed. And our inability to inform these people is what is causing the havoc. Again, my favorite quote is, hate is not the first enemy of love. It is fear, because fear destroys our ability to trust. All of what is going on in this country right now, the main fact that you think this country cannot be united is because we are not communicating with each other. There's so much fear that has fostered into a lot of hate. And we have to create an avenue, an atmosphere where we will start talking to each other. Anytime you put together people from different ethnicity and religion and they talk to each other, you will find out that they're all going through the same problems.
Okay.
Whether the man in the east thinks that people in the north actually having a better day, it is not true. The average man in the streets of Kano doesn't even know if this country produces oil. And frankly speaking, he doesn't care. So the truth of the matter is that it's the poor man that is being marginalized.
But I could tell you, I could say it to your face now that
yes,
for a long time, I think, my personal opinion, yes, for a long time we've not had a government. Nigerians have been depending on what they provide for themselves, apart from those in the Senate. Do you agree on that?
Not totally. In some areas, the government has actually met with its obligations. In some other areas, they haven't quite met with the obligations.
Okay, give me the ones they've met up with. The one they met up with, please. Give it to me in about two, three reasons, please.
To be honest with you, I'll tell you, if there was no country, we probably wouldn't be having fuel for our vehicles right now. If there was no country, we probably would be fighting each other right now. If there was no country, there probably be no law and order. With all of those things, there's a government in place. Let's be fair. But in all honesty,
I'm not saying they are not in place. They are not effective.
That is the second thing you're saying, and the first thing you said was we've never had a government. And
yes, it's the same. Well, okay. How do you look at how do you look at a man? I'm coming. How do you look at a man that have 5 kids and cannot feed them? He's a father, but still he doesn't feed them.
Yes, that is an individual matter. The government has got its own responsibilities, and it has to meet with those responsibilities. If it is not effective enough, you can say it's not effective enough, but you cannot say it's not a place.
That is why I said, can you give me 1 or 2 places where they are effective?
And I just mentioned to you that if there was no government, we probably would not have a country right now. If there was no government, we probably would be fighting each other right now.
We are happy people. What about that?
Well, we try.
We are happy people. What about that?
We try. That's what I'm saying. Because happy people do not go beyond some states. There's some other places you go that you don't find happy people. They're very angry people that are ready to tear things up, tear things down. So you see, not one size fits all. But again, with regards to the herdsmen issue, I want to let them educate the herdsmen that when you put those cattle in the ranches, you can have a symbiotic relationship with your locals over there. There's nothing wrong with an Igbo man investing in this venture. Who we know that every day we're able to milk about 80,000 liters of milk. Who knows that the dung that the cattle pour in that enclosed area can be packed and moved on to be processed into ammonia gas? There's nothing wrong if the skin that has been ripped from the cattle is being sent to Aba to be processed into leather, shoes, handbags, and belts. There's nothing wrong if we have a proper abattoir system that packages this meat properly and sell, and this country knows exactly how much.
But they are not arguing on what and where it goes. The problem here is that they felt they've been cheated by, for example, I don't like mentioning name, but I had to, the president. They expect him to say something about it, but he's not doing that.
And that is exactly what I'm telling you. If the body language is right, Nigeria can work. This president has failed on a lot of fronts, and I'm not going to shy away from it. He has failed on a lot of fronts. When this president assumed office, I expected him to do a few things without thinking twice about them. He needed to have gone to the Southeast and tell the Southeasterners that whatever they've heard about him is a lie. He is not a tribalist, he's not a sectionalist, he's not a regionalist. He will try as much as possible to work with all Nigerians. He gives them that assurance. He promised them that. And then you move to the South. You tell them, I want to work with you people. Please stop vandalizing those pipelines. Not to take billions of dollars and go to the Chad Basin to look for oil in an area that you know hydrocarbon has tipped away long ago.
But when it comes to the pipeline, I think Goodluck Jonathan allowed a lot of things. He gave them a lot of money. He made them, like Buhari said, the youth of Nigerians are lazy. What do you think about that?
Yes, the youth of Nigeria are not lazy. I'm a Nigerian youth. And I don't consider myself a lazy person. And I have a lot of people that I meet, like me, are even more active than myself. But this is one thing where we have to understand. There's a reason why the people in the Niger Delta are the way they are. First of all, they have got a huge environmental deficit. The place is not habitable. I worked on the oil and gas for many years, and I know what I'm telling you. Education is another huge problem. And whether we like it or not, I expected that at that time, the president should have called the stakeholders in that region and say, if Goodluck Jonathan was giving you 10 billion per day, we cannot meet up with that. We're going to hold up an amnesty program, but we're going to reduce how much we give to you because the country is going through a crisis. And exactly so the people would understand. Because these people are ready to just, all they really want is to be appreciated, recognized, and, pulled closer. You cannot work with the people if you have drawn lines that will just separate you from them. So again, if we want to have a country, everybody is relevant. There's no superiority, there's no inferiority. We all have to come to the same level and appreciate everybody. Everybody has got something to add to this mix.
Okay, that will take me to this question. Nigeria is a rich country in terms of petroleum, not in terms of its people. You understand? If you are given the chance to handle Nigerian finance, would you do better than what it is now? Would the money not, like, oh, now I have the money, so what then? Let me just have it for myself.
So, there are two things you just mentioned. There's finance, and then you were talking about politics.
Yeah.
So if democracy is what we're going to be running in this country,
yeah,
it is very important for us to not want. If Nigeria are not getting the kind of democracy that they deserve, they will be paid for the kind of democracy that they get. What does this mean? It's unexpected, because when they do that, the first thing that crosses their mind is, how do we retrieve this money? But they're not just thinking of how they retrieve this money, they're thinking of how to retrieve this money at an interest rate that only they can determine. And at a return of investment time, that only they can determine. So what is very important here is the process that gets out our elected officials has to be engulfed by the Nigerian people. When a politician comes to you, just ask him, what plans have you got? Stop asking them.
I know, but my question, my question is that
your question is exactly in line with what I'm trying to tell you. Because
but I want to direct it to you. Then we take it to somebody else. I want to direct it to you now. If you are entrusted with Nigerian finance, how are you still going to be as humble as you are now? with
The
power.
only reason why I have gotten this far is because of the people that have supported me. I haven't. If you check my history, I've never been in any government office. I've never had my hands dipped in any financial situation that is going to label me as someone who has been involved in corruption. So what it means is that the kind of money that politicians would naturally use to, run politics, I haven't got that kind of money. But what has gotten me this far is the Nigerian people, mostly the Nigerian youth, who have agreed to levy themselves every month to see how they can support this movement. So now let me put it to you. The mere fact that they are doing this, what it simply means is that when the time comes, I will have no choice but to deliver to the people the dividends of democracy, because those are the people I'm answerable to. I'm not going to go back and give everybody his 100 naira. No, I can't do that. But now I have to give them the promises that I had made.
That means you accept donations.
Yes, we do accept donations, as a matter of fact.
How much, if you don't mind, if it's okay by you, so far, how much have people donated into your campaign?
What we've done so far is before we started this whole movement, we decided to create a structure. So we decided to create a structure called the Reformation Movement. And in the Reformation Movement, we have them in the 36 states of the country, including Abuja and the diaspora. And every month, the members actually give a token, depending on how much they feel they should support the movement with. And this is the kind of resources that we use to move from point A to point B. This is the kind of resources that we use to hold our website working. This is the kind of resources that we use to even, feed the people that move with us when we're moving during our campaign. But in all honesty, one thing that we have enjoyed from this whole process is the fact that we agreed from the beginning that we're going to have a system that was going to be transparent and accountable. So as I speak to you, at the end of every month, we do a financial review. What has been spent, what is going to be spent, what does the budget say, and this is exactly what is making our members trust us enough to continue supporting it. So every member within the movement receives a monthly audit report of what has been spent and what is intended to be spent. And it just builds the confidence within the people. So yes, again, to be very honest with you, if we do not have the people, we cannot do this. Because if I'm going to sit down and allow some godfathers give me some money, then the whole process has
You'll be answerable to them.
Absolutely. And this is exactly why I want Nigerians to stop troubling people like me who haven't stolen their collective resources to say, come and give us money, just because I'm trying to sensitize the people.
Yeah. Okay. You've answered the question, but I'm still going to ask you anyway. Are you telling me you don't have anybody sponsoring you personally?
No, I don't.
Giving huge donations like 10 billion, like I used to read in the papers.
So the only time I've been approached by two different politicians was because they wanted to buy me out, and I never went back to visit those people. And this is because I'm determined to take this to the very end. On the 5th of January 2017 was the first time I received a call from an older politician who said he wanted to buy me out. And to be honest with you,
he wanted to buy you out how? Like stopping you from contesting, or?
Not just stopping me from contesting, but actually hand over my structure.
Really?
The structure that we have built over the years was being negotiated. And so because I knew that I didn't want to hear the figure they were going to be presenting before me, I decided never to meet those people again. And this is a true story, because I know very well that if you do place before me $10 million, problem would be.
You'll be thinking. So you don't even want to obtain information you don't need.
I don't need it. Because I need to be focused.
But they are still going to come for you anyway. Even if you reject, they are still going to come.
But this is what I'm going to tell you. We have gone past that level where they are going to subdue us, because the people behind us are way more than what you can imagine. And so, except I'm prepared to live outside this country for the rest of my life.
I wouldn't want to put you in trouble, but I wouldn't want to put you in trouble, but I will test you. I will test you. Can you mention the name?
No.
Okay, then I will look over it then. I wouldn't want to put you in trouble. So,
okay, thank you.
how would you stop? For example, we have a lot of criminals. No, I wouldn't say criminal. Armed robbery issue, security issues. Like 2011. Let me tell you my story. Yeah, 2011. I was in Nigeria to invest in rice, like Nigerian local rice, which Goodluck Jonathan announced that they were going to stop importation of rice. So there is this rice we call Ofada rice. I don't know if you know for Ofada rice from Ogun State.
Go ahead.
So I got my license from NAFDAC. I got everything. Then I was in Nigeria for a year, but I was robbed, and unfortunately, that was the day my mother died.
Sorry about that.
2011, on the 3rd, 2011, it was around about 1 a.m. early in the morning. From that time, I've been finding it difficult to visit Nigeria. And there are so many people like me. Now, I want to put it to you. I don't want to talk about the military because the military defend the country. I'm talking about people's life. Directly, people's life. How are you going to secure people from this armed robbery and things like that? How are you going to do it?
The first thing that we want to do with regard to security is to ensure that the National Assembly reviews what we call state policing. And you see why state policing is very important for my movement is because we believe that it doesn't make any sense to borrow to go and secure somewhere in Sokoto, even if it's the commissioner of police in Sokoto. The mere fact that it's not from that terrain, it gives him a lot of trouble trying to understand how to address the security issue, first of all. Secondly, we intend to change the police force to be called the police service. So it's also very important for us to understand the training that goes into policing. These people are being told that they're in the police force and they're being given ammunition. The mere fact that they're being given their ability to actually deliver the kind of service that we require from them. We have to let them understand that they're actually there to serve, not to force. But in all of those things that we're talking about, it still goes back to the fact that we have a poor data management system. This poor data management system does not allow us to know who is employed, who is employable, who's on the streets, why a policeman who was formerly in jail is now a policeman on the street. There's so many things that have to go into reorientation and reorienting the minds of the people. But again, one of the things that has actually helped these kidnappers or armed robbers to continue doing what they do is because the infrastructure that's supposed to be in place that would checkmate this kind of activities is missing. And these are the kind of things that we want to ensure that we put into place. Let the Nigerians know that they do have a country, a system. And the only thing that this police forces within the police service within the states would have to do is to respond to the central unit that controls the police service, so that local politicians within communities would not abuse the entire system and use these police people for their own personal gain. So I'm really sorry about the loss of your mother, and I'm sorry it also coincided with the time when you were robbed. But hey, there's crime all over the world. What we have to do in our own cases is to see how we can have a system or a proper data management system. I go into Dubai and the first thing they're doing, they're taking my data, they're taking my pupil iris, they're taking my fingerprint.
That is to take me to the next question because it's your field. You develop softwares.
Absolutely.
Do you have an already made software to address this issue, or you are looking forward when the money is available?
No.
Look into the camera. Look into the camera and say the truth here. Are you prepared to develop a software?
I'll tell you the truth. What we did in 2015, we developed what we call a state hackathon. So part of the thing my company does, if you had allowed me, was to also organize hackathons. These hackathons are supposed to bring in young people into the hub who would help the country think of how to move forward using technology. So we've always had this problem with how to get young people feeling responsible, which is the disconnect that we're talking about. I've been around the country and I've visited a few elders, and I keep telling them one thing: if you do not allow responsibility to be transferred from one generation to the next generation, a vacuum will be created. And when this vacuum is created, every single person who lives within the system will feel that they do not need to be relevant, or they do not need to participate in the system called Nigeria. So we started thinking of how to involve people who are done with university, people who are still in university, to come into our hub for free, for a price, to develop strategies, to develop applications that if we present to the government, they will be excited to hold on to. And one of the things that we did with the Lagos State government was when we presented to the Lagos State governor, Akim Ambode, a security application system that is supposed to be a first responder system that will communicate with the people on ground. Now, so this is work in progress. I was excited when and this is a true story about Lagos State. We wrote to Lagos State, we told them that we had a security application that we wanted to present to them. The Lagos State government invited us, we made a presentation, they loved it, but I know they haven't called us back. Whatever the case is, I was glad with the fact that they've started thinking in line of how.
That means they clap for you. Pow, pow, pow. Pow, 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 and nothing more.
Which is enough encouragement, because before now, we didn't used to have things like that. Whatever you write to the state, it never comes back. It just lies down somewhere and it all gets shredded. So I was really excited that we began to have a process where at least our administrators would listen and hear, because we had a meeting
did you have the meeting directly with Ambode or who?
We had a meeting with the Commissioner for Technology.
Not with Ambode, not with the governor.
Not with the governor. So
how are you sure the governor get to see the idea anyway?
It didn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's the commissioner that would take care of all of those things that the governor has to endorse. So if the commissioner has taken some ideas from what we presented, with some ideas from other places, put it together and decide what they want.
For how long have you given it to him now? For how long?
It was in 2016.
And which year are we now? We are in 2018. We are in 2018. Come on, exactly. I know you are careful, but I want you to be more straight, yeah? 2016 to 2018 is a lot of time.
Yes.
Even if you have a child as of 2018, by now, he or she will be calling you daddy. By now should be talking. If your child does not talk at the age of 2, then you've got problem.
Not really. Some kids function differently.
Yeah, it works differently, but they should be able to say daddy. Now they are not even saying anything about it. So it's not. I don't think they welcome it then.
No, that's not true. That's not true. So the fact that one company sends a proposal doesn't necessarily mean that the proposal has to be,
accepted.
Your proposal will be accepted. So like I said, if they had called us to make a presentation, for me that was good enough, because in any way you want to look at it, and we have opened their horizon to see that things like this can happen.
That is possible.
This is possible, and it wasn't long before I saw the Lagos State governor giving some walkie-talkies that were application enabled to the LSPSC, I think the Lagos State Police Control Unit, something like that, and they do have security control units. So, when the case was happening in Benue with the insecurity system and everybody was blaming the president, I said to myself, I expected that the governor of Lagos State, who has handled security to a good degree, to call the governor of Benue to say, how can I help you? Because one thing our people forget is, when the fire starts burning, you only know where it starts, you never know where it ends. So it's very important for us to start understanding that as long as we're living in an enclave with some neighbors, whatever is happening in any part of the country, whether it be Maiduguri, whether it's been Benue, whether it's been somewhere in the southeast, whether it's been in the southwest or in the north, we should all be concerned, because the moment we're able to address it before it goes beyond control, the better for all of us.
But what about the stuff that the police stop people and collect bribes and all that? How are you going to see to that to stop it?
The police service has to be reorientated. The training has to be different. When you see leaked videos from the police training college, you will know that there's no how these people will come out and be regular people. These are the things that we would have to address. We have to adopt strategies that countries whose police service are working to see how we can imbibe them into our system. Yes, I know that we went through a military era that has made most of this training, military training institute want to go through with hard, forceful ways of training people, but it's not working in 2018. What is working in 2018 is intelligence gathering, and better relationship with the people you're expected to serve. That is the only thing that's going to give you the kind of result that you deserve.
Okay. Now, that will take me to the next question. What are you going to do about the health sector for the masses, for people that they can't even afford it?
Two things are there. We have to talk about the primary healthcare. The primary healthcare is what is supposed to reach out to the people within the grassroots. And then the second thing we're talking about, what we're talking about when we're building the manifesto on the healthcare system, is the fact that we would have to have every single one of us on the health insurance scheme. You have to belong to the health insurance scheme, even if you are the house help.
Would it be free?
Say that again, please.
Would it be free?
It can be free. Something has got to give. But let me tell you what we can do. So when we design how the new Nigerian number will work. So I have the new Nigerian number. Of course, you are not a Nigerian anymore since you've been away for so long. You don't have
I'm still a Nigerian. Don't mock me like that.
I go to the health sector. I go to the health service, and I want to take medication.
Yeah.
But because I have my new Nigerian number, I can be given a subsidized fee to pay. I could pay 4,000 naira on the till, and then you come behind me and they ask you, "Have you got a new Nigerian number?" And you say, "Oh no, I don't have the new Nigerian number." And they say you're supposed to pay 27,000 naira, and you go, "Why am I paying 27,000 naira?" We tell you you've not been registered.
So now, what do you refer to as new Nigerian number? Can you explain that, please?
It is going to be a synchronized number where all your data that you have submitted to the government ever will be put together and a number will be issued to you. And it is with that number that you can access government social provided amenities. Because again, if the government is going to be giving some money every month to the health sector, say 5 billion naira to the health sector to help people access healthcare at the subsidized rate, it has to know how many people we're talking about. It has to know how many people are registered under it. This is how it can plan. I remember a government came on board during campaigns and said, we're going to give 5,000 naira to all jobless Nigerians. Who is a jobless Nigerian? Because if that money was going to be issued,
I have a lot of them. I have a lot of them. Looking for a way out, I'm telling you.
I know.
But so how much would you be looking at in terms of regards to the health, the scheme you want to bring in? Like, how much do you think an individual should pay? The poor ones. I'm not talking of the rich ones.
How much will it be looking at?
Yeah, for an insurance, for your scheme, the one you want to introduce. Like, how much are you looking at?
Well, it depends on your earning capacity, because again, the way we've designed it, depending on what you're earning, is going to be what informs how much healthcare service you're going to be receiving from the system. So the system has to, something has got to give, like I said earlier, and this is exactly what we're talking about. But the only way we can give some people some sort of subsidy with the kind of healthcare that they receive is when we know how many people we're dealing with. Right now, we don't know how many people we're dealing with. So in Nigeria Republic,
but like how many years is that going to take you to gather the figures you need to be able to create the numbers? How long do you think it takes?
This is the question I was expecting, and I've been telling people I am not really interested in forcing Nigerians to go and register. No. What we want Nigerians to know is, if you don't register, you don't get the service. If you don't register, you don't get that, social amenity provided to you.
What if they start blaming you? Like, you are supposed to send people to their house to do that. Nigerians can do that, trust me.
In every hospital that exists in this country, you would have someone who does this registration for you. You're only going to provide the required documentation, and you'll be issued a number. I'm not talking about making cards that were going to be.
But what about the private hospitals, the private ones? How are you going to bring them?
With regards to the private hospitals, I have no problem with private hospitals for those people who can afford the private hospital. But one thing that we're going to do for sure, if we have a doctor that works with the public hospital, you have no reason to run a private hospital, because what we've noticed is most of the doctors who work with the public sector, with the public health sector, still find themselves working in the private sector, and they get distracted. So they pay more attention to their private business.
They need more income.
Say again?
They need more income.
Yes, but not at the detriment of our people. So you have to choose. If you want to go run your private sector, fine. But you cannot have the two. You cannot have both. No.
But how are you going to guarantee their pay? Because payment in Nigeria is another problem.
If the health sector is working right, the health sector is going to generate money. And don't let anybody deceive you. There is money for a lot of things. First of all, we can see how much the National Assembly members are receiving every day.
We are coming to that. Don't even let us start. I'm telling you, we have a lot to talk about that. But between me and you now, I want to know, out of the stupidity of the House of Assembly, I will call them stupid, sorry. You know, and I will call them, I don't know in a better English to put it that will not be rude. Let me just put it stupid. But then, how are you going to generate money to pay these people? Because we've always had good ideas. Trust me, there is good heads in Nigeria. Very good ones.
I remember you asked a question just a few moments ago with regards to how well we want to tackle all the corruption that has happened in this country, money that has been stolen.
Corruption is another topic between me and you. Don't let us touch it. That is another topic between me and you.
I want us to talk about it right now because it's related to what I'm about to handle.
Okay,
right now.
Okay then.
So I'm going to give you an example. A certain minister has stolen $100 million.
Wow.
And this certain minister has fled the country.
Can you give me the name?
I'm just giving you an example.
Okay,
and this certain minister has fled the country. And I'm hearing my government say we are going to arrest that person. Under a judicial system that has got so many loopholes, under a constitution that has got so many loopholes, you will never be able to bring these people to book. So this is what I'm suggesting. We are going to allow all corrupt people to come in for a plea bargain. This plea bargain is supposed to allow us to bring you back into the country, promising that we're not going to send you to jail, but ensuring that all the money that you have stolen with our proof, that you come and invest it in this country.
Invest it, not give it back to the government.
Right now, I don't. If it gets into the government, it goes bad again. There's a civil service that we will talk about later that will make sure that this monies and what has been collected never goes back. All of this money we're talking about, we never go back to helping the people. So what we're saying is, if we do these big trains that are supposed to run from Port Harcourt to Umuahia, going through Kogi, passing through Abuja, somewhere terminating somewhere in Kebbi, and we need another one that's going to be taking goods all the way from Lagos through Ibadan, passing through Ilorin, passing through Kaduna, somewhere terminating somewhere in Kano, and we need speed trains to do these things. I assure you, that person is going to build these things. But one thing we're going to do with regards to the plea bargain, when we tell you to come and reconstruct or come and construct this social amenity that the people are going to use, we will allow you to have at least 3% of the revenue that is going to be generated every year for the next 5 years, after which we are going to let you go. But you will have to finance all of that based on the money that we have seen in your account that you have siphoned from our collective resources. Now, this is exactly what we need to do. Otherwise, when these people steal our money, they take them to other countries, build the kind of hospitals that we want in Nigeria, invest in the kind of businesses that we want them to invest in Nigeria, and Nigerians keep chasing them and in reality chasing shadow. So the reason why these people stole the monies in the first place is because the system was porous and allowed them to do so. What I am saying is we do not checkmate with proper data management system that is going. I'll give you an example with the banking sector. The banking sector is a very good example because in the banking sector, if the cashier is trying to balance the book and 1,000 naira is either missing,
okay,
that can not leave that office on that day. So they would trace where that 1,000 naira got missing, and believe you me, in less than 24 hours, they're already chasing who must have stolen that money.
Let me ask you a direct question, and I want to look straight into your eyes now when I'm asking. Yeah, to be sure. Sorry. If your family member was found corrupt,
yes,
your immediate brother, God forbid,
yes,
but if it happens, what will be your decision?
I have no business with it. It's the law. The law has got to take its course.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
What if everyone is on you?
Who's everyone?
Family members, friends, like. Would you be pushed to set him or her free, you know?
So I'll tell you very clearly. With a system, I cannot interfere with the system. I was somewhere in Akure a few years ago doing this sensitization exercise, and I remember a university lecturer was there in the audience, and he came up to say, "You've been talking about data systems, computer. We don't need all of that. We need human. We need humans." And I was disappointed because this was coming from a university lecturer. But I told him one thing. I said, you can have a handshake with the people if there are just 50 of them. But when the people are going over 100 million people, you definitely do need a system that will keep them in check. So when this system is able to pinpoint one individual to have done something wrong, the law has got to take its course. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it.
I believe
one thing
you.
that has actually
looking into your eyes, I think I could believe you.
Thank you very much.
From your body language, yeah. So let me ask you something. Would you accept abortion?
You see, abortion again is a personal matter. I have no business whatsoever with abortions.
So you would rather not talk about it?
Well, I'll talk about it. There's nothing wrong in talking about it. One thing that's most important here is we have to educate our girl child. We have to get our girl child in schools. And one of the things I've been advocating for in the last 10 years is to see how the girl child goes back to school, especially in northern Nigeria. I have been a strong advocate to the abolishment of child marriage, and that every father's responsibility is to ensure that his girl child attains education. And so we would have to educate these people that there is nowhere religion actually insisted that girls get married at tender ages. But it is culture that has actually been our problem. And if we have stopped the killing of twins as a result of our enlightenment campaign, then we can't stop the marriages of girl child. And these things can happen. We just need the right body language, we just need the right education, and we just need the right government laws that will be implemented.
What would you do about human trafficking and prostitution? I know these are very, very difficult questions, but I want you to talk about it.
Personally, I don't know why you regard them as difficult. What I just think is our borders are porous. Most of these girls that have been taken out of this country have been taken out of this country for two reasons. First, they have a very bad life going on in Nigeria. Secondly, they have been deceived through the borders illegally to see how they can get them to the countries that they want to get them to. But you know, if a country does have a proper system, if a country does know its citizens, when one person is missing, that is why you see in America when someone is kidnapped by a foreign country or people in outside, they actually take it very seriously because the system is actually telling them something is missing. Someone is under siege. There is trouble. But you know, we don't know anybody here. Anybody can go missing tomorrow. That's your business. We cannot function like that. So 60 girls are taken away from Benin to somewhere in the back city of Rome, but nobody cares. Nobody knows. Their families haven't heard from them in.
But some people will argue with you that the girls knew they were going for prostitution.
In some cases they do. In most cases they don't. And this is it's important that we understand these things. Whether they know or they don't know, the system that allowed them to leave this country has to be looked at. When we see girls going out in numbers like that, we need to know where they're going to. Are you going to study? Are you going to work? Have you got the permit? Our country should be ready to have all those kind of questions and those proper things.
But are you sure even when you introduce those kind of law, people will not be angry? Like, are they not free to do what they want?
No, they're not free to do everything. If it was a free world, then I would have killed you. Yes. It's not a free world. So there are laws. And like I keep telling people, government is God on earth. And that is why when a government puts a law in place...
Can you say that again? Government is what?
Government is God on earth. So
yeah.
this is very important. People have got to take very seriously the kind of people that they allow govern them. Because God is not going to come down and make sure anything works for us. But it's the kind of people that we put in the helm of affairs that would ensure that our country works for us. So this is a huge problem because we have repeatedly, foolishly put the wrong people in place and we're unable to get the kind of governance that we want. And so God is so far away from us in our minds.
So you are putting the blame on hardship.
The blame is really on us and our inability to ensure that we verify the kind of candidates that we allow occupy the offices in our country, especially political.
That takes me to another question. If you are to make all this thing possible, that means you have to have a lot of members in the House of Senate, in the House of Rep, to be able to pass some law. How are you working on that? Because we are just focusing on only you. Do you have people that want to run for?
I agree. Today is a very special day because we're actually having our annual EXCO members for the Reformation movement. So I had to excuse them to come here. But in those members, we have a lot of people that are running for the National Assembly, including state governors that are there. I'm not saying that all of them are going to emerge, but one of the problems that we've always had in our politics is our inability to have the freedoms of government working. They do not all have to agree. But the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive have got to find a reason to work together for the betterment of the land. Why we're having this problem is because the executive thinks they're superior, the judiciary thinks they're superior, and the assembly thinks they're superior. We need to agree. Something has got to do. I've seen some strong presidents around the world who still lobby with the National Assembly, who still lobby with the Senate to see that something that they believe would work for the people's benefit is being pushed into law. You would have to go down and beg. You would have to go there and plead, except you do not care about your people. So I give an example with the current administration. One of the reasons why they have failed to give us the kind of democracy that we deserve is because there is no proper synergy between these three arms of government. We want the synergy to be there. I expect that the president will have no qualm to invite the Senate president or the leader of the National Assembly, Speaker of the House, to say, you know what, please allow this thing to go through. I am begging. You are not begging because of yourself. You are begging because of your people. And if you are begging your people have won, not you. You would have to remove this individual superiority complexity from how we run our system. It is important.
Okay. So let's move to the next question then. What would you do to fix the educational sector?
You know, you asked me and I said there's two things. There's the primary education, which in my opinion, the only way we can start, which is the foundation, which is where we're really concerned about. We would have to have the better teachers in those schools. What I mean by better teachers in those schools, do you know that the teachers in the public schools are even better paid than the teachers in the public the teachers in the public schools are better paid than the teachers in the private school. But the teachers in the private schools are better off. So what we need now is to see how we can overhaul this system. And someone asked me, by the time you're overhauling this system and getting the right teachers to teach in the primary school, what happens to the teachers that are already existing there? And I say to them, we're going to send them to our plant that process our agricultural produce, to our plant that we use to brand our agricultural produce, to our plant that we use to package our agricultural produce, because they do not have the capacity to be in classrooms. And then the second thing that we have to do for our higher educational system, including from your SS1 up to your university, we have to reintroduce technical colleges. Technical colleges were the things that we had in this country that could help us produce graduates who knew what they were doing. The third thing that we'll have to look back into is to see how we can reintroduce the synergy that existed between universities and research institutes. Before the mid-80s, the research institutes and universities used to be together. And the fact that they were together, they were able to produce people who had hands-on practicality. Now we are having graduates who have no clue. So, you know, there's a time Bill Gates came here and said one of the biggest problems they think about Nigeria is the fact that people are not empowered. Yes, people empowerment comes in so many ways, but most importantly, they have to be highly developed intellectually. They have to be very developed mentally. The fact that we have this gap is making our people not have or put themselves in the best places to deliver the kind of country that we desire. Because once your youth do not have it, you don't have a country. So this is what we have planned for our educational system. We don't have any choice. We'll have to get the right teachers in our primary schools. We'll have to reintroduce technical colleges, and we will have to amalgamate the research institutes with the university system, so that even if we will start thinking of how to commercialize our research institutes, so by all means we should do so. So when someone like Innocent sees that there's a research that is going on in a particular university, he can invest. He can invest, and so that whatever results come there, his company can use it for their own.
But how could you get the companies in Nigeria to give scholarships to those who cannot afford it? Not just give cars, give check, you know, like they do in Nigeria. Wow, I've won something. Wow, I'm a millionaire, become a millionaire, kind of thing.
There are a lot of companies that are giving scholarship, but I'm not even concerned about scholarship. I want companies to be supported by government policies so that they will be truly strong enough to have accommodation for people who come in from universities every year. So most of those companies are going through a lot of problems, from tax regimes to the ease of doing business to the fact that the infrastructure is not there. I'm paying so much for power, I'm paying so much for security, and then you still expect me to grow in the way that I'm supposed to grow. It doesn't happen. So we will have to put this infrastructure in place. And we put this infrastructure in place, there is no doubt in my mind that these companies will now have an opening to bring in people. Before now, companies like this used to go to universities and have what they call the job fair day. They sit down with the students, they pick the best, and sometimes, most times, you already know who you're going to be working with even before you graduate. We need to go back to those days. It is possible. It is actually possible. Now kids will have to work hard, because right now, kids are not prepared to go to school. If you can see some artists who sing two nice songs, people dance to them, even though there's so much immorality embedded in the song, but they're making lots of millions of dollars, you decide you don't have to go to school because you just want to make money.
You have an easy way out.
Say that again, please.
I mean, there is an easy way out. Without
exactly. They believe this is the easiest way out, and so they fall for that. But I still clearly say the best way out of our problem is to have a proper educational system, and this educational system can work. We have to have a healthy people. That's where the health sector comes in. We have to have a proper data management system, so we know how to garner all of these people together and know how to forecast, how to project. I mean, what are you building a budget for if you do not even know how many people exist in the country? Budget for who? Budget for what? These are the problems that we're facing.
That is why they could be able to steal a lot of money, because there is no proper accountability.
You get my point?
But the universities in Nigeria,
yes.
What are you going to do about the private universities and the government ones? Can you please tell me what is the difference, like, to your own experience? What do you think about it?
Personally, the kids who go to the private school have a better life. They have more hands-on practicality. They have the exposure. They go through a system where the lecturers do not ask them to pay for handouts. I went to a public university, federal government university, so I can tell you the yield in a federal university. But this is what is very vital. We shouldn't have a problem with private universities. We shouldn't have a problem with private businesses. What the government should do is to make sure that it puts its acts together so that the people would have a choice to make. And once your act is properly put together, you will see private schools bringing down their prices because nobody will be going there anymore. We need to invest in the right...
But it's attractive. It's attractive.
Of course it's attractive, and so like I said, there's nothing wrong with having private universities. If you can afford them, you go to them. But what we need to do for our people, because we are the majority here, we need to prepare for them the kind of schools that will make them able to compete with their peers.
What about the parents that could not even send their children to school? What are you going to do to ensure them that their children go to school? Because we have a lot of them. I believe in the north and as well all over Nigeria, but more in the north.
You know, I like the fact that you're bringing this up, and this is the message I like to spread to my brothers and sisters living in the southern part of this country. The north is not any better than the south. The kind of poverty that exists in the north is way more than the kind of poverty that exists in the south.
Of course.
But now we're not here trying to draw lines of poverty and who's rich and who's poor. But one thing I've always said with regards to education is this. Anytime my elders tell me they have talked to the system to bring down the cut-off mark because I come from a certain part of this country, so that I can compete with my peers, I find it very important. Because when they are doing that, they're actually saying that I do not have the capacity to compete with my peers across the country and across the world. They need to invest in education. So, you know, when I saw the agitation with the Biafra system and the secession, I was excited about it. That for the first time, the Igbo were coming together for a cause. However, whatever the cause was. But what was most important to me at that time was the fact that they had come together to understand that they had a problem. But how well they were going to go about resolving that problem became the next issue of discussion. So for me personally, I was trained that we would find a way to whip up the emotions of the people in the northern part of this country so that we can understand that except we unite ourselves, we cannot demand for accountability, transparency, and efficiency with good governance from our government officials. That is the only thing that can take us after those quagmire. The moment the masses can understand that they're going through the same problem, then the politicians will wake up.
Okay. That would take us to infrastructure. What are your plans? In general.
In general, my government is not going to be interested in building any road. First of all,
you're not going to build any road.
No, we're going to have a concession. We're going to invite people in this country who have the resources, who are looking for a way to invest their billions of dollars, and tell them.
The ones that have stolen or the ones that worked for it. You have to.
There are a lot of honest Nigerians that are very wealthy, and there's nothing wrong with being wealthy if you work hard for it. We're going to invite them. We're going to tell them how to invest their money. We're going to tell them there's a 400-kilometer road that has about 120,000 cars passing it per day. We'll tell them they want to cite about 4 major pay points on those roads. We're going to tell them that we want those roads to also have minima. We're going to tell them how they can make money from those roads and how much money is likely to be generated every single day. And so if these roads are going to even be costing us 100 billion naira, which these people can easily raise if there are just 50 in the room, they're going to run this business for the next 10 years or 20 years, depending on how well we negotiate. But what is going to be most important here is we're going to make sure that the government supervises how these roads are going to be constructed, supervises how these roads are going to be run, so that from the money they're going to be realizing, part of that money is going to be going into rehabilitation and maintenance, part of the money is going to be going into payment of staff and running costs, part of this money is going to be paid to the government, and the rest of it is going to be given to the investor. This is the only way we can match up our infrastructural deficit. Because if the government is going to be borrowing money to invest in infrastructure without a proper plan on how we're going to recover this money to pay back to wherever we borrow this money, then we are going more into the debt that we are running away from. And it is this debt that has failed to help us progress as a people. So, there's no shame in it. You're going to invite stakeholders, you're going to put them in one room, and you're going to talk to them, and you're going to tell them why.
Is that not going to bring you back to godfatherism?
How is that related to godfatherism?
Yeah, because if you ask them to invest, and we have bad road already, and yes, you are asking them to invest in the road sector.
Yes.
What if they give you conditions?
Like what? Sorry.
Like if you don't do this, we won't help the government out.
They're investing for themselves. If you really understand.
That is exactly what you are saying. But Nigerians will take any opportunity.
Please stop thinking of us like this. There are
no, I'm still part of you.
No, I don't think so. On a serious note, people in that room, there's some people that could pay as little as 5 million naira. There's some people that could pay as much as 100 million naira. Whatever investment that you have put in there is going to be your return. So now you are thinking of the people who just want to do business. And now we are putting to them the guarantee that the government just give them assurances that your monies are going to be well taken care of, that the policy is going to be in your favor. Because for me, you borrow $50 million and then you bring it to Nigeria and then you say you want to make a road. How do you want to make money from that road? How do you intend to pay back this loan? And so the years keep going by, you're unable to pay back this loan that has been accruing interest, and then we're putting ourselves in quagmire. something slightly differently, and see how individuals like yourself and myself can look at businesses that the government presents to them and say, we're going to invest in this, and we're sure of the system because the government has given us assurances that our money will be protected.
Okay. I will take your word for that.
I want you to think about it, and you find out that this is the best way we can actually upgrade our infrastructure. So there is nothing wrong again. If we get the same people to come and build a hospital, and imagine now you build a hospital. Imagine 100 men come together and build a world-class hospital. Tell me, are we going to be realizing money from those hospitals? The answer is yes. Even if we're going to be subsidizing it, but the leakages that normally happen in our government institutions will cease, because at this time, private people like yourself and myself have invested and will be looking for how to get our money out. So
but what about the past governments that were selling the properties to themselves in the name of privatizing?
That was selling the property. That was not investing. That was selling the outright sale of the property to themselves. These are things that we're going to keep open and allow Nigerians come and invest. And like I said to you, if you're going to build a 400-kilometer road and all you do, you put toll gates there, that the money will be recovered. You can actually sit down in your office and see how much money is being recovered every single day with a system. Let's think outside the box, please.
Okay. For now, till you get to that stage, I'll question you again. I hope you will turn up.
I will be always.
Okay. What is your plan for agriculture?
Like I've said before, there is no way our agricultural system will succeed if we don't understand the land space that we use for agriculture. And this is where geographic information systems and spatial analysis will have to come into play. We cannot be giving farmers fertilizer when you don't even know how much land that particular farmer has. Farmers will start coming to collect fertilizer based on the land space that they have, so that you are giving them the appropriate fertilizer that would help them satisfy the land space that they have. First of all. Secondly, whatever we are realizing at the end of a farming season does not just end up at the farm gate. Anytime I hear my Minister of Agriculture say that they exported 30,000 tons of yam tubers of yam, I feel really disgusted, because what he has done is not just export this yam produce at a lower value, but he has also exported our jobs, because in that tuber of yam, you have extracts that you can use for the pharmaceutical sector, for the companies. You have extracts that you can use for the cosmetic industries. And so, the Americans that buy our tuber of yam do not consume them for food. Not really. They actually take them to the laboratories and they process them. So when we have an idea of how many Nigerians exist, we know what we're storing for our people and releasing into the market at the right intervals. And for the other part that we're going to be processing, we know why we're processing them. We just don't process them, we process them. From the processing plant, we move them to the packaging plant. From the packaging plant, we move them to the branding plant. And the logistics company will be activated so that they will take these things all over, not just the country, but across the world.
Okay. I will take that from you. So we will be going for a break and we'll be back in just a minute. Thank you, Mr. Ombu Giant. I will call you my Ombu Giant for now. Let's go for a break and I'll be back. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Welcome to Clevernet Notebook Plus. What's Clevernet Notebook Plus all about? Clevernet is a social network and online platform for professionals. What's our mission? Our mission is simple: to get the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. How? Getting into a smarter conversation by blog, classify, events, group, music, upload, download, picture, movie, news, update, sport, radio, and online TV station. Just sign up to our affiliate program. Start on Clevernet Notebook Plus. Freely register to our network www.clevernet.net. Thank you. For more information, please contact us today at our email info@clevernet.com or info@clevernet.net. Welcome to Clevernet Notebook Plus. What's Clevernet Notebook Plus all about? Clevernet is a social network and online platform for professionals. What's our mission? Our mission is simple: to get the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. How? Getting into a smarter conversation by blog, classify, event, group, music, upload, download, picture, movie, news, update, sport, radio, and online TV station. Just sign up to our affiliate program. Start on Clevernet Notebook Plus. Freely register to our network www.clevernet.net. Thank you. For more information, please contact us today at our email info@clevernet.com or info@clevernet.net. Welcome to Clevernet Notebook Plus. What's Clevernet Notebook Plus all about? Clevernet is a social network and online platform for professionals. What's up?
The thing has been so stressful because even when you come in, the people will keep you waiting until I don't know when the system is going to improve.
They couldn't find my name on the list. After the registration, I had Ojuelegba.
I had to see a lot of crowd here, and I decided that the stress is too much.
And they are saying I should go to Cyber Cafe to from there find out my details of my INEC office, so they can print out my name there.
It's not compulsory now. Is it by force to vote?
The crowd was much, and just because I wouldn't want to waste my time from where I was going to, so I had to go. I did not really put down my name and my number down.
When we are voting, what's the benefit? What are you benefiting? I'm not doing any voting. I'm not interested.
My name is Ahmed Buhari. We're there for Surulere, for inside Lagos, and we're trying to find out why people not the vote or how did they go through to get their PVC. And if you see behind me, a lot of people don't come here since 7 o'clock in the morning. Some of them come with their children. Some of them had to walk down here to come do registration. Some of them, they complain since 2011 that they tried to get this thing done, but they never do. Some of them, they say they send me to go internet cafe to go get the right documents that can help them get this thing registered. This thing not go easy. But Moko, remember one thing. If you have your PVC, now there your power day. Now there you go fit vote the kind of candidate where you want. I know some of them don't complain, say they don't tire for the system, but I beg, we cannot lose hope. The only time we feel lose hope now when we die. So remember, your future day, your term. Go and register, get your PVC. Thank you.
What we're experiencing now is a natural occurrence of a people who are tired of the status quo and are hoping for something different to happen. So I'll give you an example. For example, I keep looking at the Nigerian situation and I say to everybody who wants to listen, if you do not allow responsibility to be transferred from one generation to the next generation as at when due, a vacuum will be created. Because you see all these young people, they want to believe or feel that there's a need for them to be called Nigerians. But one thing I need to get clear here is, this is not an ambition, it is a vision. And only because we have started visualizing a thing like this, we're getting more aspirants. I'm the first aspirant that declared to run. And at the time I did this, I heard things like, he's crazy, he's mad, he's a joker. There will always be dream killers, there will always be naysayers. What is important is the fact that I'm not standing alone anymore. It makes me confident that anytime you see an aspirant who hasn't had the opportunity to steal Nigerians' money, who has never stolen Nigeria's money, whose name is not on the list of looters, please support him in any way you can. And this is because it's an expensive venture. The mere fact that you have to travel from point A to point B, not forgetting that this guy, all he receives or all he earns is just enough money to take care of his immediate family. Now you have to start thinking, where is this resources coming from? If the resources is not going to come from the collective group of Nigerians who are actually seeking for this better country, and if we're not careful, the moment he agrees that, okay, I can't sustain this anymore from my own personal resources, I have to look for one older man here or elderly guy there who has had access to our collective treasury and ask him to give me money, then the whole process has been distorted. Because at that point, he will not be able to deliver the kind of dividends of democracy that would expect from him should he get into office. The average man on the street in Kano doesn't know if this country produces oil. So what it means is he is in abject poverty because some people who represent him on the higher level have refused to allow the resources that we get from our collective wealth as a country to actually trickle down. There are no healthcare systems, there are no basic amenities and all of this.
Welcome to Cleverland Notebook Plus. What's the Cleverland Notebook Plus all about? Cleverland is a social network and online platform for professionals. What's our mission? Our mission is simple: to get the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. How? Getting into a smarter conversation by blog, classify, event, group, music, upload, download, picture, movie, news, update sport, radio, and online TV station. Just sign up to our affiliate program. Register on Cleverland Notebook Plus. Freely register to our network www.cleverland.net. Thank you. For more information, please contact us today at our email info@cleverland.com or info@cleverland.net. Welcome to Cleverland Notebook.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, how is the break with you? Did you take your time to have water, coffee, or what?
Yeah, I just realized we've been here for about 1 hour and 40 minutes.
That shows how interesting it is.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, what are you going to do about electricity?
First of all, the president of this country has the right to what you call the exclusive list. And on that exclusive list, power is one of the items. So this is what we're going to do with regards to power. We are going to, with all urgency, remove that clause that stops individuals, private companies, state governments from generating their own power and commercializing it. So this the country does not allow you as an individual, as a private company, or as a state government generate your own electricity and commercialize it. So if you and I are able to put water and Gary together today and to give us power, and we decide, okay, we want to make it on a large scale so that we can sell it, the government does not support it. The government insists that you transfer all of that power that you have generated to the national grid.
From the states?
To the national grid. And that is where the problem starts. Because at the national grid, to help to then ensure that they are able to pass this power from the different base stations to where these people require this power becomes a problem. Some of these base stations are so old that they cannot function in the capacity that you want them to. Some of these base stations cannot take as much power that is being sent from the plants that will help them. They cannot take as much power, and so they break down. And when they break down, that is when we go for the shortage of power. So we are going to invest in what we call renewable energy. We are going to invest in solar energy. The intensity of the sun from northern part of Nigeria is sufficient to give the northern part of the country at least 70% of the already existing power that it requires.
Well, how much do you think is going to cost you? And how will the money be generated? Again.
Now, this is the kind of investment that we can go and borrow money to do. Because you already have a strategy on how you can recover the money that you use to pay back wherever you borrow the loan from. But you cannot be investing in infrastructure that cannot tell you how you're going to make the money. So there are certain investments that you are allowed to go and borrow money to run, and this is one of them. Renewable energy, solar energy would have to come into play. And then we would have to allow individual companies, private companies, state government, the ability to generate their own power and commercialize it.
So if you are receiving loan,
The only thing that the center would have to do in a situation like this is to ensure that they are working in accordance with the rules and regulations for safety and for the economic growth of the country.
But how would you guarantee a local government? You would say I'm not a Nigerian by the time I finish. I know that. But how would you guarantee a local government that we are giving money to construct road and pocket the money? How would you guarantee they will use it on an electricity?
I didn't say you give local government anything.
But you said the local government should be able to generate power.
Yes, when a local government generates power, because it probably has the ability to do so, it is going to be doing so because it wants to make money. In fact, if a local government can generate power, it's a thinking local government. As I speak to you, Lagos State is the only state in the country that has been able to generate power but cannot commercialize it. So it uses it for some of the government institutions across the state to ensure that they have power. So don't get me wrong. If you are saying that you want to give local government money to go and generate power, that is when they're going to consume the money. But if they're able to generate it on their own,
now you're on my side.
Of how they can...
Now you're on my side now. We are talking, you understand what I'm saying? Because you should be able to give money to the local government to generate and pay back. Like loan them, then pay back.
No. Nobody's asking you to do that. We're just saying that there are some forward-thinking parts of this country, whether individuals, whether companies, whether state government, who are ready to invest in research. And if this research is able to generate their ability to now provide power to the quantity that they can commercialize it, and are doing it according to the rules and the regulations for health and safety reasons, for health and safety, and living by the rules and regulations for economic growth, then they should be able to do so. And the only thing that the government will do is to ensure that they are doing accordingly, and whenever they want to tax those state governments or local governments or individuals or companies will now come back to the federal government. But the federal government should allow some of these things happen. The fact that they have not allowed liberty to a certain level within the power sector, we are having a problem with regards to how we want to progress. So this is in the exclusive list, and I expect it to be removed so that you and I can mix our gari and water to generate power to the quantity that we can commercialize, and nobody would arrest.
But what do you think about Fashola now? He's the Minister for Power. So what do you think his ability now? What has he done so far? You are in Nigeria. Are you okay? Are you satisfied with his stories? Or?
Of course I'm not satisfied. Of course I'm not satisfied. And Fashola's hands are tied. And I would have expected that someone like Fashola, who at the time that he was governor in Lagos State, actually was able to generate some good level of electricity. And I remember at that time, he was actually, contesting with the federal government to allow Lagos State government commercialize what it was able to generate. So when he became Minister of Power, I expected that was one of the first things he was going to advise his government to ensure that they adhere to, so that we can have power in surplus. But I'm not seeing it happen, and I'm worried.
Anyway, what are you going to do about oil well allocation?
First of all, with regards to oil well allocation, we're only going to be considering companies with good track record for health and safety. These are the kind of companies that would ensure are able to own oil blocks. Because for me, forget whether the oil block is owned by Alhaji this or Chief this or Mr. that. The most important thing is the life and safety of the people living in the Niger Delta. The conditions that they're living in. Because right now, as I speak with you, the biggest problem that the Niger Deltas are facing is the fact that they're living in an environment that's unsafe, unhealthy. So that should be our first consideration. And for new companies that are coming on board, we would have very stringent laws and rules and regulations that would ensure that if they don't meet up with those things, they cannot have or own blocks. That is the first thing on my agenda. I'm not going to be concerned about whether the people are from a certain part of the country, because for me, it doesn't matter. The most important that we should be able to do with these people is to ensure that whatever they are producing, the country is totally in charge of what we refine.
But recently, the present government does not want to renew any license automatically anymore. What do you think about that?
Did they tell you the reason?
No.
Good. So part of the problem this government is facing is communication. You need to talk to the people. Like I said, hate is not the first enemy of love. It is fear, because fear destroys your ability to trust. And what is that thing that builds that trust? Your ability to communicate. So it needs to communicate with the people. If you're not renewing licenses, you should tell them why you're not renewing licenses. I tell you one thing, even if this government is going to say the reason why we're not renewing licenses is because most of those people, most of those companies that have licenses have been unable to adhere strictly to our they've been unable to adhere strictly to our health and safety conditions, and that is the reason why we are not going to renew the licenses to those people. Nigerians will understand, Nigerians will appreciate, and if it's because they've not been paying their taxes regularly, if it's because they've not been living up expectations with regards to the production, because there are some companies who have got oil wells but don't have enough money right now to undergo new exploration or new drilling activities. And if that is happening, why not? We'll give companies that have their capacity to drill and to produce.
Okay. What are you going to fix? What are you going to do to fix the Niger Delta problem?
We're going to communicate with them. Our body language has to be right. The Niger Delta people have been cheated. The Niger Delta people are not living the best of environments. The Niger Delta people do not have schools, do not have health centers. And we know very clearly that 90%, 80% of what this country receives in terms of foreign earnings comes from the Niger Delta. So we will have to apologize to them, and we'll have to do the right thing. And I am praying that when we're doing these things, the youth, the people of the Niger Delta would help us achieve this plan.
But Goodluck Jonathan invested a lot into Niger Delta as well. What would you say about that? It's from there.
I didn't see the investment. I am sorry. Invested in what? Please.
In people. He said he was he set up so many organizations to I don't want to mention names and I don't want to criticize anybody. I just want to hear from you.
I am sorry. The Niger Delta is still the same way it has always been.
Really? Have you been there recently to talk to them?
So when the people... Yes, I was in Warri and I was in Yenogua. But the one thing I keep telling the people is, when you want to channel your anger, make sure you are channeling it to the right people. If we had a 6-year administration of somebody from your region, I need to see what was put in place very clearly. And so, if I cannot see that, I do not expect you people to complain just because this other guy is from a different region. That should not be the bane of our argument. That should not be the reason for our anger. We should be more concerned about how we are benefiting from these systems. And it has got nothing to do with ethnicity or religion, but on how we can come together as a people in unison to demand for accountability, transparency, efficiency, and good governance from our elected officials. That is the only way out. That is the only way out.
Okay, I would take that from you. But my other question again is, what are you going to do about the Biafra people?
Like I've always said, people have got a right to protest. Every people have got a right to tell you they're not happy. And what you're supposed to do as a leader or as a government is to listen to those people. I have no problem if the Southeasterners want to speak. There's nothing wrong with that. There is no marriage that should be forcefully put together. If they want to go, by all means they should go. But they should be advised on the processes that constitutionally can allow them pull out. And the referendum is the only way out. So I'm going to guarantee the Southeasterners one thing. After my first 3 years in office, they will stop asking for succession. Because at that time, we will ensure that we put them into the mix. The complaint of marginalization, the complaint of underdevelopment, the complaint of being not just marginalized but now being treated inferior would have to come out. Would have to be removed from the equation. We would have to work with the Southeasterners as we work with other parts of the country. And if you are really serious on secession, I expect you to start demanding that your National Assembly members, your governors, start talking about this. Because only then can you start pushing for a constitutional discussion that can help you succeed.
So what you are saying indirectly is that you might let them go.
Of course, if the referendum happens, and the people support it, the Igbos support it, by all means it will happen. The one thing that is most important in 2018 is to see how we can leverage on our comparative economic advantages. If the Easterners have something that we need in the North, and the North have something that the Easterners need, we can work together, and everybody will be happy. More than anything else, economic progression is what is most important. Every other thing comes secondary.
Do you think confederation would have been a solution?
True federalism?
Yeah.
Of course, it's a good solution because that's the only way people can be in control of what belongs to them. I said to you in the first instance, I said 4 things we are concerned about when we get into office with the unity of this country. A decentralized system of government, which of course comes with the true federalism and regions being in control of their natural resources. 3, a secured country. And 4, how we can leverage on our comparative economic advantages. When we have all of these 4 things, I assure you, Nigerians will have no reason to start thinking of how different they are, but how they can work together for economic progression.
So why do you think, for now, that is the problem? Because they feel cheated, yeah?
They feel cheated, why?
I don't know, but because for me, like the mother to my dad is from Enugu. And I don't want to see that relationship go. So if you are saying you are just going to let them go just like that, I'm frightened. You understand? I might be selfish, but I'm frightened.
I'm not going to let them go just like that. How do you mean? I don't want you
like
to
you would let them go if they say they want to separate from Nigeria, but I don't want to lose my roots as well.
You're not losing your roots.
I am.
Honest with you, you're still
I would need a visa to cross. I would have to go through the border.
So let me ask you: are you an Igbo man, or are you a Yoruba man, or a Hausa man?
If I'm to think of it, I'm a Nigerian.
So, if that referendum comes, you're not going to vote because you don't belong to any of the regions I just spoke about.
I would vote to stay. I would vote to stay in Nigeria.
So thank you very much. So when we do this referendum, I am assuring you that we're going to have more people voting to stay. But because we have a big deficit, when I was in Owerri a few months ago, I asked the people, what don't you like? And they had everything to complain about. And I said, what would you want a government to put in place that can help you succeed? But they didn't have a reason. They didn't have an answer. So what we're looking at here is a generation of people who do not truly even know what they want. And this is a disaster. So we would have to educate the people. We would have to talk to the people. We would have to create avenues where these people can be gainfully employed. Because the only reason why they're so angry is because the marginalization they feel is because they are hungry. And that is why I said the only people that are truly marginalized in this country are the people.
Okay. I will take that from you then. I will take that from you. So what would you do if for the judiciary the judiciary system of Nigeria? What would you do to fix it? Because each time they take people to court, yeah, they always go free. They are always free. Like nothing happened. Like somebody steals on the road, that is when you see the judge. I'm the judge. You are with a gun, you must go to jail for life. But somebody steals billion, it's people's friend.
Yeah. Yes. There's going to be a total overhaul of the system. And when we talk about the total overhaul of the judicial system, we're looking at how the appointment of judges is going to be reviewed. That is where the biggest problem lies. And as much as a lot of it has to do with constitutional amendment, this is where I'm hoping that the right kind of people will start vying for offices, especially in the National Assembly, so that we can have a review of a system that is going other than that, we can't address, the president cannot single-handedly address a judicial system, because if I could, I would probably see how we can change the entire system, but most of these things have to go with the constitution, and I'm a highly.
Would you amend? Would you be willing to amend the constitution?
Of course, we'll raise a few things that we want to see amended, and when we push it to the National Assembly, we will hope that they push it into law, because every arm of this government has a role to play with regards to how this country should work.
If you get into power, those that have been stealing before you get there, what would you do to them?
I think I said that earlier. I said I'm going to allow.
And I told you we are going to postpone it till now.
Yes, I think I'm going to allow for a bargain. I'm not going to lie to anybody. The reason why they did all of those stealing was simply because we had a system that, in all honesty, allowed them to steal. So when you think about this, if you drop 20 naira on the floor, I could pick it up. But if I drop 20 naira in a safe, I lock it up, put it in a cage, and you still go and break it in, and then I know there's a problem. So our systems are porous, and that is why civil service, whether the civil service or the politicians, have access to our collective wealth, and this is a major problem.
Okay. Who are the leaders that inspire you?
Who are the leaders that what?
That inspire you to want to go on to become a president, things like that?
I think it's amazing. You have a country where you can't really find leaders. I just sincerely think Umar Musa Yar'Adua,
the late one,
the late Umar Musa Yar'Adua had a mission but never got a chance to execute it.
Exactly.
I think he inspires me. And the one line that he said at his inaugural speech that still reminds me of the man was when he said, though he knows that the process that got him elected into office may be corrupt, he's promising Nigerians that he's going to give them the kind of governance that they deserve. For me, that was humility to its core, and that was honesty to its core.
Okay. What are you passionate about?
Well, I'm passionate about my people. I'm passionate about Nigeria. I'm always very quick to let anywhere I go to in the world, always quick to let people know that I come from a country that has the potential to be great. And so I can fight you to the very end just to let you know that we have got good people. And just because we have a few bad people, that doesn't mean that we should have we should be generalized as a bad country. We're not a bad country, we're not a bad people. We've got healthy people, we've got forward-thinking people, and I just believe if the right people start working up to say, fine, we're going to start serving this country the capacity that is going to have a wider effect on the people, then we should do it, and we're going to do it. This is the mission I've started, and many people have asked me, why do you think why the office of the president? And I said to them, I think I'm too relevant for my generation to hear that I existed without making an impact.
Why should anybody be led by you?
It's a choice, really. We're going to go to the polls. We're going to run an intellectually driven campaign that is going to have empirical submissions on how this country can function, and it's going to be left for the Nigerian people to decide what they want for themselves. Because at the end of the day, we can have all the plans that we want to have. The Nigerian people would have to still decide. So exercises like these are supposed to help us reach out to Nigerians, both home and abroad, to understand that we are not all the same. And the call for the fact that we don't have options is no more a discussion. And the fact that people have always said that the youth are not ready, it's also no more an option. I was the first person that declared in my age category to run for the office of the president, and that was done on the 1st of October 2016. And since
Can I ask you your age?
I'm 40.
You are 40 now?
Yes.
Okay. You can go on.
I made a declaration to run when I was just 38. And I remember at that time, a lot of people called me lots of things. They said I was crazy and I had lost my mind and it was an impossible feat. But I'm glad today that they don't mention 5 people running for office in 2019 and they don't mention my name. And like I said, people who actually refer to me as, some people say, oh, I'm never going to vote for that guy because he has a Buhari in his name. And I say to them, I say to them, I think more than anything else, you should judge a man. You shouldn't judge a man by the color of his skin, by the religion he practices, or the tribe he comes from. But we should focus on the content of his character. And I'm hoping Nigerians will grow beyond the little things and start focusing on the major things.
When you are considering partnering with someone, what are the personalities you look at?
Hard work. You must be hardworking. You must have a track record of transparency. You must have a track record of really wanting a one country, because those are the things I stand for. I want a country that is united more than anything. It has to happen. We have to work together, and the body language has got to be right. I want somebody that even if I'm not present, can actually continue the work that we have in mind. And I'm hoping that if anybody is listening to this program, I'm hoping that we get a Nigerian lady who will be ready to run with me.
Okay. When you become the president, how would you select your cabinet?
We have a federal character that we would have to adhere to. I respect the federal character. I think there's nothing wrong with it, in as much as we're taking the competent people from the different regions.
Okay. Okay. What are the mistakes you see in most of the leaders nowadays?
Communication. We're not communicating, and we're not taking criticisms. We should be open to criticisms. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. We should be able to converse. If someone criticizes you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, calling for a discussion, try to learn from him. We don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, and I'm hoping that people like yourself with your vast experience will be ready to talk to me and say, we think this can work better than what you have in mind. But we just think that you have the zeal, the enthusiasm, the energy, and that's why I want to support you. So I think if we want this country to work, it has to be an all-inclusive, whether on ideas, whether on beliefs, or on any other thing that we think can help people succeed.
When you are faced with 2 people that is qualified for a particular office, how do you sort it out?
One of them has to be chosen.
But how do you decide?
The most important thing for me is if I cannot fire you, I cannot hire you.
If you can't fire me, you can't hire me. Wow. That's new.
Yes, if I can't hire you, if I can't fire you, I can hire you.
Can you explain the meaning of that? Because I don't understand it.
So we've had a lot of politicians who have who try to compensate their supporters, their followers, because of the roles they played in the political process that got them elected. Forgetting that what is most important is to give appointments to people who have the technical know-how, true technocrats who have proven track records that can help you succeed. You see, everyone has got a role to play. If your role is to help a good person emerge as the president of this country, that is your role. If your role is now to help the president of this country to succeed as the president of this country, that is. The main fact that some people in this country are thinking they did not pick somebody from my local government to represent, to become a minister, it means that you're actually part of the problem, because you are hoping that somebody from your local government will be picked so that you can go directly to him and ask him for a handout. And this is where our committees are unable to now give you the kind of service that they should give you.
Can you hold on, please? Yeah, good evening. Okay, you can continue. Thank you. Continue, please. I thought they were calling to talk to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's my position really.
Okay. What are you doing to ensure your growth, stability, to make sure you win the office? And yeah.
We're not going to lie to ourselves. We're going to keep sensitizing our young people because a lot of young people have lost hope. And so what they want when election season comes is to see how they can enrich themselves directly from the pockets of politicians who have stolen our collective wealth. What we're trying to do right now is to see them listen to us, give us the opportunity to hear what we have, and see if we can draw this process to becoming an intellectually driven campaign where we'll be talking about the issues, not castigating people, not looking for cheap popularity or trying to say things that are going to whip emotions of the people from one part of the country or one religion against the other part of the country or the other religion. Let it be an intellectually driven campaign that would have solutions that can help Nigeria succeed.
Okay. For me, I would like you to just encourage the youth and tell me why people should vote for you. And yeah, in few minutes, so we can call it a day. So you can take your rest because I see you are tired.
Thank you. You're sounding very tired yourself.
No, I don't want to bother you too much. Because I see you are so prepared. And most of the things I would have asked you, you've answered to all. Even before you get to that question. And I see a man that is, I pray things work out. And I pray in the kind of country where we come from, they can appreciate and give change a chance. I wish.
We hope so.
I wish.
So my message to the Nigerian youth is one thing. We must be prepared to pay for the kind of democracy that we deserve. Otherwise, we will be paid for the kind of democracy that we get. Our action is ticking down very slowly. At 40, I'm actually counting down. So if we're still going to continue the way we've always done it, where we would allow the political process to determine, based on the few peanuts that collect, determine how our future will become. I would rather we stand firm, tight our belts, and truly own the system. We can own the system. We've got the numbers, we've got the capacity. I've run this campaign for the last 2 years with the full support of young people like myself who have been truly inspirational to me. I know very well I can't do this on my own. If I was going to be doing this on my own, I would have really been exhausted by now. But I want to thank everyone that's been part of the Ahmed Buhari campaign.
But do you feel down sometimes? Like, wow, I'm tired, I'm exhausted.
Every morning I wake up very tired. But then I get calls from people who truly believe in this cause and they sort of wake me up and make me realize that I've got a path ahead. And so this is not an Ahmed Buhari project, but it's our project. And I want to sincerely thank all of those listening out there, especially those on my team, to let them know that I'm determined to take this to the very end. And I promise that the best I can give to you is the dividends of democracy if we're firm enough to, refuse to allow certain politicians to infiltrate our structure.
When are you going to choose a party?
I'm going to be declaring a party by the end of this month. We're having strong discussions with a lot of political parties. And one thing I've made very clear to the party stalwarts is if you're not going to allow our manifesto play a huge role in your existing shaky structure, then by all means we cannot.
If it doesn't work out, are you going to stand alone?
What do you mean by stand alone?
Like being a platform, creating a platform of your own, of your group.
Right now, there's no independent candidacy. But what we're working with right now is, I believe that the creation of more political parties is actually a huge distraction. So my hope is that Nigerians would see that the only way we can win is if we agree to come to a particular platform and own the platform. We can own the structures. We can become that party. Politics a few years ago was described as a very dirty game. Today, nobody is telling me I'm a dirty man just because I'm playing politics. Because you can actually be a clean person and play clean politics, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Okay. Mr. Ahmed Bee Buhari, thank you very much for joining me for 2 hours today. Wow. If I had to pay you, only God knows how much that would cost. But don't worry, send me the bill. I will send you my email.
Thank you. Some of the questions you asked me, the things that we've already planned out, and the only part of the question that I know I didn't quite respond as I wanted to is the fact that the president does truly have rights over the judiciary. But then, like I said, I don't have all the answers, and we have to work with the experts to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. If you find any president that has all the answers, you should be wary of it.
Yeah, but what if you are gifted? Like we Christians used to say, God spoke to me. God said I should. God. That's the way of we Christians. God said we should. You know.
Yeah. It's not the way of the Christians. It's the way of some individuals. A lot of people know that what they really require is to form teams that will work together and give good results. And that is exactly what I believe in. I believe in teams, and I believe in understanding that the best solution can come from the smallest man in the society.
But before I forget, the diasporans, what is your plan?
Yes. Two things. I want our best brains to come back home. Whenever I sit down with the diaspora and trying to strategize something, with ease they give me solutions to those problems, even though they're a bit disconnected from our reality. But they do have a solution to a problem. I lived in the diaspora for a while, so I know what I'm talking about. But my hope is that we'll find a way to get you guys also part of the electionary system, the electionary process, where you can actually vote from wherever you are in the world, so that
I'm happy to hear that.
Yes, just the fact that you live outside this country.
So you won't call me. You won't say because I've stayed out too long, I'm not a Nigerian anymore. I'm happy at the end of the day you are saying that.
That was it.
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys have a lot of roles to play with regards to how we can become a stronger country. Our doctors, our journalists, our engineers, we need you guys back. We need to see how we can, work on the constitutional amendment to see how we can start allowing people to vote electronically, to see how we can have their voices heard, even though they don't live within the shores of this country. So I want to thank you, Cleveland TV, for the opportunity.
Yes, I remembered something. Sorry. Before you go, before you say the thank you word, would you dissolve the Senate if you have the chance to do it?
I don't have those constitutional powers. I'm sorry.
But would you, if you have the chance to do it, would you?
No.
Okay.
The Senate is a representative of the people. What I want the people to do is to make sure that they elect the right kind of people that would govern them, not what we've always seen happen. So once they're able to elect the right kind of people, so like I keep saying, when there's a matter that is being raised in the House, before a senator should raise his hand and say, hey, nay, what have you? I expect that senator to go back to his constituency, to sit down with the stakeholders and tell them this is the matter. What should I say? Because it is not dependent on just you, but on the people that put you into office. It is what they want that you represent, not yourself. So the people need to let these guys understand, and these people have to know that I am not a senator. The fact that I'm a senator does not make me larger than life. I am answerable to my people. And by the time you refuse to do what the people want, they will vote you out.
God forbid. God forbid. God forbid. I pray you become the president of Nigeria, so I can get what I want for my kids and myself. According to your vision, I'm happy, and I wish you go through. But should God forbid, I will say that again because I don't want to offend you. If it doesn't go that way, and you are given an appointment, would you receive it?
My purpose is to serve this country. I'm not going to lie to you. If I'm going to be given an appointment so that I serve Nigeria, and it's truly because of my ability to serve Nigeria, not just because I'm being compensated because I lost the election, that I am sorry I will not be able to do that. But if it is served in the capacity that I know how to, I would love to. And if there's anything I would like to work with regards to the Nigerian project, is to see how the National Orientation Agency can work harder in trying to see that Nigerians understand themselves better, only so that we can live in peace and harmony.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed Bee Buhari.
Thank you.
I am so honored, so happy.
Thank you.
And
thank you very much.
I can talk for myself. You know, I can't talk for everybody, but I encourage everyone to at least give you a chance and talk to you, ask their questions, and really, I'm short of words. I wish you the best of luck. And I will be looking forward working with you more.
Thank you so much.
To get things on ground.
To be an honor.
Yeah, exactly. So I will be in touch whenever I need you to come online when I have questions, and I hope you have time. To everybody out there, this is the presidential candidate, the humble giant. Everyone has been talking about the entrepreneur, motivational speaker. What more should I say? Well, good night, good morning, good evening.
Husband, father.
Really? Of how many kids? You didn't tell me that.
Rachel.
Huh?
2 boys and a beautiful princess.
2 boys. Oh my God.
And a very beautiful princess.
Really? Wow.
Exactly.
That's a good news. I mean, and I consider your wife a very, very lucky woman.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I would say good night, good morning, good evening, good everything, depends on where you are watching from. And bye from Cleveland TV for now. Till we meet again. Bye.
Welcome to Cleveland Notebook Plus. What's Cleveland Notebook Plus all about? Cleveland is a social network and online platform for professionals. What's our mission? Our mission is simple: to get the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. How? Getting into a smarter conversation by blog, classify, events, group, music, upload, download, picture, movie, news, update, sport, radio, and online TV station. Just sign up to our affiliate program. Start on Cleveland Notebook Plus. Freely register to our network www.cleveland.net. Thank you. For more information, please contact us today at our email info@cleveland.com or info@cleveland.net. Welcome to Cleveland Notebook Plus. What's Cleveland Notebook Plus all about? Cleveland is a social network and online platform for professionals. What's our mission? Our mission is simple: to get the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. How? Getting into a smarter conversation by blog, classify, events, group, music, upload, download, picture, movie, news, update, sport, radio, and online TV station. Just sign up to our affiliate program. Start on Cleveland Notebook Plus. Freely register to our network www.cleveland.net. Thank you. For more information, please contact us today at our email info@cleveland.com or info@cleveland.net. Welcome to Cleveland Notebook Plus. What's Cleveland Notebook Plus all about? Cleveland is a social network and
what we're experiencing now is a natural occurrence of a people who are tired of the status quo and are hoping for something different to happen. So I'll give you an example. For example, I keep looking at the Nigerian situation and I say to everybody who wants to listen, if you do not allow responsibility to be transferred from one generation to the next generation as at when due, a vacuum will be created. Because you see all these young people, they want to believe or feel that there's a need for them to be called Nigerians. But one thing I need to get clear here is, this is not an ambition, it is a vision. And only because we have started visualizing a thing like this, we're getting more aspirants. I'm the first aspirant that declared to run. And at the time I did this, I heard things like, he's crazy, he's mad, he's a joker. There will always be dream killers. There will always be naysayers. What is important is the fact that I'm not standing alone anymore. It makes me confident that anytime you see an aspirant who hasn't had the opportunity to steal Nigerians' money, who has never stolen Nigeria's money, whose name is not on the list of looters, please support him in any way you can. And this is because it's an expensive venture. The mere fact that you have to travel from point A to point B, not forgetting that this guy, all he receives or all he earns is just enough money to take care of his immediate family. Now you have to start thinking, where is this resources coming from? If the resources is not going to come from the collective group of Nigerians who are actually seeking for this better country, and if we're not careful, the moment he agrees that, okay, I can't sustain this anymore from my own personal resources, I have to look for one older man here or elderly guy there who has had access to our collective treasury and ask him to give him money, then the whole process has been distorted. Because at that point, he will not be able to deliver the kind of dividends of democracy that would expect from him should he get into office. The average man on the street in Kano doesn't know if this country produces oil. So what it means is he is in abject poverty because some people who represent him on the higher level have refused to allow the resources that we get from our collective wealth as a country to actually trickle down. There are no healthcare systems, there are no basic amenities and all of those things that these poor people would need. And what I'm saying is, except the man in the east understands that the man in the north is going through the same problems as he is with the man in the west, we can have a united country. This country can produce millions and tons of food, and in that same year we still go hungry. And that's because we haven't put the right things in place. If agriculture is our biggest strength, then we'll have to manage it and ensure that we leverage on its entire value chain. Whether we're going to be thinking of how well we store, what we process, how we package, how we brand, and how we export. So anytime the Minister of Agriculture is rushing to take things out of this country for the sake of receiving foreign exchange, I say to him, you are exporting our jobs. Because in that entire value chain, millions of jobs can be given to Nigerians. With regards to the public sector, the only thing that's going to make the public sector work or the civil service work is if there's a system. I'll give you an example with the banking sector. The day 1,000 naira would miss, that banker will not leave his office. He has to balance the books. And that's because there's a system. The moment he cannot balance the books, they would have to raise a flag and say, 1,000 naira is missing here. But they not just say 1,000 naira is missing, they will look at it and say 1,000 naira is missing here. It was taken at 2:30 p.m. on the 14th of January 2018 by so person. And so people just believe that when we bring this system, I will not have a chance to dip my hands directly into the pockets of the treasury and put it in my own pocket. And except we are going to have a leadership with strong political will and determination, we will not be able to have this kind of system, whether from the
Thanks for the question, Ebuka. First of all, my name is Ahmed Buhari, and you're right, I've had a lot of calls from people saying that I change my name if I want to run for the office of the president. And I keep telling people that I cannot change my name for anything. I try to remind them that I do come from a home of a very honorable man who served this country diligently before he passed away, and the least I can do is to ensure that I help protect his legacy. And so I'm not going to change my name for anything. With regards to the current administration and its performance, one would say they have handled some certain areas well and some certain other areas haven't been handled so well. More than anything else, I think Nigeria is a very complicated society. It's filled with different ethnicities, different religions, different viewpoints, and we do deserve a leader that will be ready to answer to everybody. People need a leader they would feel comfortable with. People need a leader that will feel understand their plight. And so what I would suggest or advise the current administration to do, if they're listening, is to, as much as possible, try to create that atmosphere that My name is Ahmed Buhari, and I will be running for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2019. My 4-year plan is to ensure that we employ proper data management systems to help provide accountability, efficiency, transparency, and good governance. We will also use our proper data management systems to ensure that we fight insecurity, improve the economy, improve education, improve infrastructure, and ensure that we provide a better life for Nigerians. Most importantly, I will ensure that we close the loopholes that have helped politicize our unity as a people. We would ensure that we erase all of those things that have always divided us: ethnicity, religion, social status, political party affiliations, gender inequalities, and all those other things. We would ensure that we move Nigeria from being a dependent nation to becoming a donor nation. These are my plans. Join me. Join us. Thank you.
The thing has been so stressful because even when you come in, the people will keep you waiting until I don't know when the system is going to improve.
They couldn't find my name on the list. After the registration, I had Ojuelegba.
I had to see a lot of crowd here, and I decided that the stress is too much.
They are saying I should go to Cyber Cafe to from there find out my details of my Inane office, so they can print out my name there.
It's not compulsory now. Is it my first to vote?
The crowd was much, and just because I wouldn't want to waste my time from where I was going to, so I had to go. I did not really put down my name and my number down.
When we are voting, what's the benefits? What are you benefiting? I'm not doing any voting. I'm not interested.
My name is Ahmed Buhari. We're there for Surulere, for inside Lagos, and we're trying to find out why people not the vote or how did they go through to get their PVC. And if you see behind me, a lot of people don't come here since 7 o'clock in the morning. Some of them come with their children. Some of them had to walk down here to come do registration. Some of them, they complain since 2011 that they tried to get this thing done, but they never do. Some of them, they say they send me to go internet cafe to go get the right documents that can help them get this thing registered. This thing not go easy. But Moko, remember one thing. If you have your PVC, now there your power day. Now there you go fit vote the kind of candidate where you want. I know some of them don't complain, say they don't tire for the system, but I beg, we cannot lose hope. The only time we feel lose hope now when we die. So remember, your future day, your term. Go and register, get your PVC. Thank you.
Welcome to Cleverland Notebook Plus. What's the Cleverland Notebook Plus all about? Cleverland is a social network and online platform for professionals. What's our mission? Our mission is simple: to get the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. How? Getting into a smarter conversation by blog, classify, event, group, music, upload, download, picture, movie, news, update sport, radio, and online TV station. Just sign up to our affiliate program. Start on Cleverland Notebook Plus. Freely register to our network www.cleverland.net. Thank you. For more information, please contact us today at our email info@cleverland.com or info@cleverland.net.